Hi there everyone, Life DIY Josie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Thrifty Thursday when I do a throwback of one low budget idea every Thursday. For the first DIY, I will be using 6 Dollar Tree frames. They're the 5x7 silver frames that I got at Dollar Tree. I removed all the backings, including the metals, from each of the 5x7 silver frames. And then I reattach all the glasses using hot glue and E6000, and then I glued the 4 frames together like so. I am just making sure that the frames are all abutted together and that they are all connected and more balanced. And as you could see on the back of one of the frames here, I put the 2 side by side perpendicular to them, and the 4th frame I added more glue on the sides so that it will close in all 4. So as you could see, they all lined up perpendicular to each other. Now I'm using also the decal or the wall or jumbo stickers that they sell at the Dollar Tree, and I like this style because it's like a lace or damask, and I really like that it added a little bit of style or glam. So if you put in lights or anything inside, it will still see through, but it will look really romantic. So this is how I attach that on all 4. For the bottom part of this lantern slash gift card holder, I am going to be using the 5th 5x7 silver frame, and then I am going to be using this cardstock that I got at Michael's, and also a pair of scissors and hot glue gun. And it's optional for me to use the E6000 on this one. First, I'm going to be removing again all the backing. This time, I'm not going to be removing the fasteners or the metal fasteners that hold the backing. I'll just remove the backing and will also utilize the hot glue to reinforce where the glass is going to go, just to make sure that it is secured. And then I am going to be replacing or putting back the glass that I have removed. Now I'm going to be tracing the size of the insert. So I'm going to be using the original insert and using it as my guide or as a template. And then I'm just going to cut this cardstock, which is in silver finish as well. I am going to be putting an adhesive tape to keep that in place. And then I'm going to be adding the rest of the backing. Before I put the final piece or the final insert or backing, I am going to be removing this stand because I'm going to be saving the hinge, which will be used for the lid that I am going to be creating later on. And then I'm going to be putting that backing and then putting the fastener back to hold it in place. To protect the surface or the tabletop where I'm going to be placing this, I am dabbing some glue on those portions where they could be sharp. When hot glue dries up, it will be smoother. Or you can use also cloth like felt and other smooth backing so that your surface or countertop will not be messed up. Now I am going to be attaching that bottom part. I suggest using E6000 in combination with hot glue to make this more stable and secure. And then I'm going to be attaching that bottom frame, making sure that I am aligned properly. As you can see here, there's going to be a little bit overhang on 2 sides of it. And then now I'm going to be assembling the top or the lid using the 6th or last picture frame. In assembling the top, I'm also going to be removing everything, all the backings, and also removing the glass. This one will not have the glass on it because what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a cutout at the center so that there's a place for me to insert the cards. But just the same as the bottom part, I am saving the stand or the hinge because I am going to use that as a hinge, the second hinge for this top or lid. I am using this Dollar Tree contact paper in the gray and white lattice design that complements the design of this lantern slash wedding card holder. And I'm just covering this insert or image that this picture frame came with. Next, I am going to be embellishing this matting, and I'm going to be using this clear craft glue to adhere the strips of diamond wrap that I am going to use as an embellishment. And you can buy diamond wrap from Dollar Tree as well. I have this big roll that I got from a craft store, but you can buy them also at Dollar Tree. They come in sheets sometimes, and they sometimes come with their own adhesive built into its backing. I'm also going to be attaching a piece of the cutout of my silver cardstock, and I am going to be adhering it onto the other side of the cardboard that came with the photo frame. Next, I'm marking the width where I'm going to be cutting the opening for where the cards are going to be inserted or going to pass through. I am using a box cutter or X-Acto knife to cut the slit by also guiding it with a metal ruler, and I'm just coring it several times until I am satisfied, and then I'm also gonna double it up so that I can have enough space for when people will drop the cards that they are going to give to the celebrants. Now I'm going to be putting it inside the frame, and this is what it should look like. I've also added some beads or that same glam wrap on the opening, surrounding the opening, so that it will look really nice. And this is the back side, which I covered with that silver cardstock that I secured in place with the fasteners that came with the photo frame. That's why it's important that only the 4 frames where you remove the fasteners, so that whatever you insert back will be held securely. Next, I've added the hinges on one side of the frame. That's going to be my lid on the underside of the frame. Now, I wasn't able to film this. I thought my camera was running or rolling, but unfortunately it didn't roll, and I've already attached the hinges. So all you need to do is apply a generous amount of glue on one side so that it will attach to the underside of the picture frame, and then you're going to be applying glue again so that it will attach to the top of one of the frames in the back. So there will be a gap at the back of the frame or the box where the hinges are because of the hinges, but it's not going to be like that at the front. It will be flush. Anyway, it will be at the back, so you won't have to worry about that. I've also used additional beads to embellish also the gaps that I see anywhere there where the connections are for the frames. And here it is. Just to give it a shot, it fits the cards in. You know, the regular size of cards, maybe a jumbo card won't fit, obviously, but something that is more regular that you buy from a greeting card store or wherever you get those printed cards, they will fit. And of course, it doubles as a decor as well. Once you're done using it, or if you're not using it for any occasion, you can use it as a lantern. And I've used the flameless LED light that they sell also at Dollar Tree. I really love what it looks like. It turned out really well, and I like that it's really kind of high-end looking as well. The next one, I'm just creating it in a jumbo size. So you will need 6 of these 8x10 frames. Also going to be using this is the plastic garden fence. I'm also going to be using some burlap, and the Dollar Tree occasionally would sell burlap. You'll also need a glue gun. I will be doubling up with the E6000 as well once I'm done with this project, and if I want to keep it all permanent. First, remove the backing from each of the picture frames and then separate the metals and flatten them aside and then glue the glasses on the frames. I'm cutting the stakes or the spikes from the fence, and I'm also going to be cutting the nails, or the connectors on the sides or the edges of this garden fence. Once I've removed all the edges there and the spikes or stakes, I am cutting each panel because I need 4 individual pieces so that I can attach them onto the glass of the frame. So sharp scissors will do just fine. Now I'm fast forwarding this section too because this is also another clip that I used for the other video where I made the terrarium, and this is how I did it to make each side even, because once you cut each panel, some are thinner than the others. So I just used the foam backing from the frame. So I have 4 pieces here and they all look even, and I'm still going to paint over also those glue residues there. Make sure that you also paint the back as well as the front. With the same technique, I am also distressing or applying a weathered look or whitewashing my picture frames. Once I'm done painting both the fences and the frames, I am going to be gluing the fence panels that I cut up individually onto the glass on each picture frame. And I'm going to be attaching the fence onto the glass of each picture frame. I'm just going to be eyeballing it, making sure that it is centered. Notice that I positioned the frame vertically, and I will repeat this 4 times. To assemble the bottom of the box, I'll be using the backing that the picture frame came with. I removed the hooks that they came with so that they won't scratch the countertop or the table where it's going to be placed. So I'm going to be using the brown side where I'm going to be gluing onto it the burlap. The reason why I'm using the brown side is because the burlap is brown and the burlap has holes and you can see through it. With the brown side up, at least it will be more even in color rather than the black side that will show through the holes of the burlap. I'm just going to be cutting it to size, maybe leaving it a little bit of space on the edge so that when I glue it, it will not stick out. So now I'm applying dabs of glues on the edges or perimeter of this cardboard box, and then I am going to be attaching the piece of burlap that I cut. So I put the glass as well as this matting to frame the burlap so that these sides here will not show. So to illustrate it better for you guys, what I'm doing is one of the panels, I put it down, and then this is the trick so that you can do this on your own or without clamps, okay? And then make sure that this is just flush. There's no overlap or overhang on the frames that I'm connecting. All these 4 will be standing up in the direction of the fence. The overhang will be in here inside but not outside, okay? So let me just put some hot glue. Make sure the directions are right. Whenever you're connecting these things, take your time, okay? So I am going to be connecting here so make it easier, making sure that the corners are flush. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing here the same thing I've done here. So then this one, now I'm going to be making sure that I connect this flush on this side. Corners connect, straight line. Okay, now that's that. Apply glue here and then glue here, and then that's it. Everything, even the corners, top and bottom. I know I'm not captured on all the angles here. Let me just remove my camera. There you go. Let me just show that to you. Aerial view. There's my belly. The magic of glue gun. And then I'm gonna be adding E6000 later on. Again, once I'm sure everything is all set. I'm gonna try it first. And then just make sure that I have the same overhang on this side. Okay, on the horizontal or on the long side of the bottom, I am going to be flush. And then on each side of the shorter side, or there'll be a little bit overhang. So there'll be a little bit overhang here, and then a little bit overhang here. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure that it's flushed here and here, and then I have exact amount of space on each side, making sure that everything is straight. Okay, so putting in hot glue here. So if you want to just raise the whole thing, and then quickly, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be applying here closer to the glass rather than outside, because I have an overhang. But this one, I can do this a little centered on this side, okay, because there's no overhang here, but this one is closer to the glass. This one would work. With glue gun, you could still move it and then make some changes later. Now, to make the cover or the top, I am going to be using one of the backing of the other frame, and then I'm going to be covering it with my burlap, and I am going to be attaching it with hot glue again, like so. Then I'm going to be using an extra backing with the black showing. I've been removing also the hook so that they don't show up. It'll give it a more professional finish. I am going to be applying glue, and then I'm going to be connecting this cardboard onto the bottom of the one that I had burlap attached on. I'm using my scissors to trim off all the loose threads. Before I put it in here, I might as well do the cut, right? So using a ruler as a guide, I am going to be slitting this center about 1/2 inch in height, and then about probably 6 inches to 7 inches wide, so that I have enough space for the cards to go through. I'm also using my scissors to trim the cut area of the burlap, and then using again my cutter to cut the remaining corners and edges. Once I cut and trim all the excess or loose threads, I am going to be applying hot glue to be able to stick this side here of the edges of the burlap so that they don't fray any further. Kind of trim off all the loose ends, and then I am going to be adding lace trim on the surrounding to protect that area and also to give it a better attractive look. So I'm just applying this lace ribbon that complements well the burlap design. I will be also putting it into the frame without the glass, of course, otherwise you will not be able to use the hole. So this is how it should look, and it will be your cover or your lid for your wedding card box. So just to show you, there you go. It will be just dropping there, and the cards are secure. They don't bounce anywhere else. The glass will protect them. So yeah, this one, you can either leave it like this, it's removable, or what you can do is you can put hinges. You can put hinges at the back. You can actually put hinges, one on each side or corner here. You can just open and close it. And then probably put some kind of a lock here, decorative lock. Okay, so here's the multi-function. I use it multi-function because it's not just for wedding cards or greeting cards that have cash or money inside. It doesn't have to be just for that. You can remove the cover and just use this as a lantern. I am going to show you how you can also decorate this. So here's the finished project, everybody. I've decided to show it to you as if I'm using it as a lantern or a terrarium without the cover. It's a flower arrangement that I've had for 7 years now. And all I added were some of the fairy lights. And I know the Dollar Tree sells fairy lights. So to you, there's no cover right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. And I'll see you again next week for another Thrifty Thursday. Bye!